What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. Welcome to episode 199. We are getting so close to that 200 episode podcast, which is coming up so soon.
Crazy.
Next week, we got a big giveaway for you.
Yeah.
When we say big giveaway, like an actual giveaway you want to be a part of, not some like, oh, giving away a little $50 Starbucks card. We're going to give away something really cool. Stay tuned to hear what that's going to be for next week, which is going to be exciting. But welcome to today's show, guys. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're new here, my name's Joey.
And I'm Christy.
And we are the founders of Creativ Rise. And we've been doing this since 2019, building a platform for creatives to learn business so that you can actually run one. So you can learn how to run a business so you can get paid to do what you love, because we know that's exactly why you're here. It's probably why you picked up a camera in the first place, or whatever your mode of creative business is. We know that all you want is more choice. You're running a business so you can get more choice of your time, with your money, with your location, with what you dedicate your life to in terms of a career. So we're so glad you're here, and we're excited to chat about something today that has helped me a ton, and it's helped you a ton.
Absolutely.
And it's helping a ton of the people that are in the Creativ Rise ecosystem out when it comes to getting in touch with new brands, if you're in the brand space, or whether it comes to getting in touch with or walking brides further down your pipeline towards a sale. It's a networking tool. We're going to talk about. And
I feel like sometimes people think of networking and all they think of is like stuffy networking events that they have to go to in person and wear a pantsuit and it's really awkward and it's like, like I don't do networking, like that's super old, or it feels sleazy and it feels very like you're just constantly asking for something. We're going to talk about networking from the stance of people will love you more after you do this, which is a big part of networking.
Yeah.
So
pantsuits.
Now, pantsuits are coming back in, actually, so I don't know. I guess we have to change our thing on that.
Everyone's wearing pantsuits again, so
it is a thing.
It is a thing. So
let's give people an update on
update on the 6-week Creativ Rise Mastermind. We started it 3 weeks ago. Week 3 has officially come to an end, and we are stepping out of our networking week, which is week 3, and we're going into week 4 next week, which is all about marketing. Well, the week you're listening to this podcast, it is all about marketing now, and it is not my words. This is not my words, but I'm proud of these words. It is like getting a 4-year, or even better than a 4-year marketing degree at a decent to really nice university. Better than that in 7 days.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm really proud of. So I'm really excited for what the Creativ Rise Mastermind members right now this week are going through. Is it's a marketing week. But for where we're at right now, we're recording this on Sunday, which is the end of week 3. And we've been talking about networking all week, which has been really cool. So quick update on this. Week 1, we talked about building offers, building 6-figure offers, pricing them, learning how to do all that stuff. The foundation of your businesses is what you're selling. Week 2 was all about how to actually position those through your brand, how to position your offers and position yourself to be not only looking professional and you're clear in your messaging, but also looking attractive to your ideal client. That's week 2, brand. Week 3 is then, okay, you take those offers, you take that brand. How do we then go out into the world and network? How do we go out into the world and showcase to people what you are capable of when it comes to solving problems for them, whether it's in the brand space or whether it's solving a problem for a bride in the wedding space, or for a couple, or a family, or a senior session, whatever that's going to be. So we have landed ourselves in networking week, and we've got some really cool wins. I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to shout out the first couple. First things first, shout out to Tanya from Australia. She is awesome. She said this in our chat, and I just wanted to read it because this is exactly why we do the 6-week Creativ Rise Mastermind. She says, "Good morning. I just wanted to come on here and share. I feel super grateful this morning for this group. I was so lost a few months ago and struggling to find my direction in my business and how to actually move forward. This community and knowledge is so much more than I knew I needed, and I wanted to say I'm so proud of each of you." She's encouraging everybody else, which is awesome. "So proud of each of you, and let's keep this fire burning. Do not forget to reach out if you're struggling. We are all here to support." And everyone in the mastermind double tapped that message and liked it. That is exactly why we do the mastermind right there. It's the spirit of bringing people together, and where there are many together, there is encouragement, there is future, there's hope for the future. Most importantly, there's a lot of strategy and a lot of implementation, which is why people get really good results inside of the 6-week Creativ Rise Mastermind. So here's what some of those results are. First things first, to back off of her little encouraging comment there, Tanya also locked down her first ever retainer.
Woo-woo.
So shout out to Tanya, all the way down in Australia. We're super proud of you. She said, "I'm so stoked. Got my first ever retainer, locked in, total of 3 months for $28.50. We are so proud of you. This is so awesome." So she is building an awesome brand business, specifically actually focused on the hospitality industry. So really proud of you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Liz. Liz also from the Northeast locked down a $5,000 wedding for next year. She says, I thought they were going to ghost me for a second, which is such a great response because she ended up doing the right things and they didn't ghost her. They ended up booking her for $5,000, which is amazing. Another one to shout out right here. Shout out to Madison Tremblay. She just locked down another client to do ad management for. So she's running one ad this month for a realtor, which is a little niche she's carving out in the realtor space here, helping local realtors with their listings. And she's charging $450 for that just for one ad, which is amazing. So shout out to you, Madison. We got Morgan Parker. Morgan's killing it as well. She had just about $5,000 of bell rings that she just put in this one message from different payments for weddings that she's booked and has coming up, which is really exciting. So shout out to you, Morgan.
Yeah.
It's just been an awesome week of a lot of really good wins. Kieran had a win for about 2,650 pounds. He's over in Europe. He's killing it. He's on a really cool brand shoot this week, and that he's getting paid well for. So he also put that in here as a great win. So we've had a ton of wins, but here's the number that is really exciting. What's actually on your phone? I did the math on your phone. Let me pull this
So
up. We've
as
been
you
giving you an
know-
update every single week on what the update is for how much money the Creativ Rise Mastermind
Yes.
made in just 6 weeks. Cash collected this week, $42,475. The 31 businesses inside of the 6-week Creativ Rise Mastermind made
So good.
just this week. Cash collected $43,000, basically $42,500, which is incredible. So
good.
we've had an awesome week. We're super proud of everybody,
Yeah.
and we're rolling because it's the networking week.
Absolutely.
So it's been great.
And then one thing that we talked about in our mastermind this week is we had an awesome member named Kelsey, who
Shout out
this
Kelsey.
is like kind of what's inspiring this episode and the conversation around this episode is she put this in the chat. She put a screenshot with a DM with a potential client, and this is what she said. She said, and then we're going to talk about what this thing is in a second. She says, the 10-cent works. OMG. Not a perfect pitch. Don't judge, but I just had to get this out in the morning, in the midst of momming this morning. I engaged with this person with a few posts and commented before I sent this DM. And she sends the screenshot, and the screenshot is so sick. She's like, sends this awesome little pitch. But what she had done before that is why she got this response. And she got a response from the client saying, hi, Kelsey, thanks so much for reaching out. I'd love to chat. What days work best for you this week?
Yeah,
So
and
she
her
got-
pitch was really simple too. Just to
Yeah.
give a little blurb on her pitch. Her pitch was just saying, hey, congrats on opening this new location. I live local. I'd love to collaborate with you on some photos for the opening and ongoing. I've got some fun ideas that would love to jump on a call and chat about. And the owner got back to her saying,
Yeah.
hey, Kelsey, thanks so much. Would love to. What days work best for you? So
And literally, I'm looking at like the timestamps. It was immediately got back to her. So why she's referencing the 10-cent rule is because we were in the week of networking, and how we always talk about networking before marketing because we feel like you should always be giving value before you ever ask for anything.
Yep.
It's not like she just sent this cold DM just right off the spot, had been, not interacting with this person at all. She'd been doing something called the 10-cent rule. And what the 10-cent rule is, it's something that's worked for me. It's something that's worked for Joey and worked for so many other creatives out there in building relationship before the ask, so that the ask feels like a warm person that you're talking to rather than just like a cold, weird ask that no one wants to respond to. So what the 10-cent rule is, it's giving your 2 cents 5 times per week. So what that
with a
means,
client that you want to
with a
work
client
with.
that you want to work with. So let's say you make like, we call it hit lists. Like you make a list of 10 clients that you want to work with, 10 companies or whatever it is. And you go and give your 2 cents, AKA go give a piece of value. Go give a little bit of like a relational touch on each one of those people
encouragement.
before you ever pitch them. So do that. Give your 2 cents 5 times a week. So what that can look like is going on their Instagram and going and commenting on their latest posts, some encouraging stuff, some valuable stuff. You can respond to their stories. You can share on your Instagram story and tag them, give them a little bit of value. You can go to their YouTube channel. You can leave them a review. You can go into their store, like whatever it is where you're not asking for anything. You're just giving value.
Yeah.
5 times a week, or even you can even go less than that, but we like to recommend 5 times a week, and that's what the 10-cent rule is.
Why don't we break those down a little bit more in detail?
Sure.
Because as Christy said, the 10-cent rule is a phenomenal way to get your name in the room before you actually get your pitch in the room.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's even the way to get your pitch in the room because your name's already in the room, right? If you pitch on a completely cold contact, they've never heard of you before, they've never engaged with you before, the odds of that pitch landing and getting a response are much lower than if someone's like, oh, I was DMing this person last week and they were really kind, or they said something really sweet, or I saw them in our store, or they were here in our restaurant trying our food and they left us a really good review, right?
Yeah.
So 10 centing is simply going, how can I get in their environment, place my feet there, and shine a light on myself as I am being either encouraging to them or I'm giving them values, just as Christy said. So a couple ways to do that. You start off with DMing them. You can always DM them something encouraging. We love 10 centing in an encouraging way, right? If you can give a owner of a business or a marketing team encouragement, they are going to like you, right? Like, let's say that a brand you really love, you'd love to work with, posts a piece of content you think is really good, or they drop a new product that you think is really cool. Sending a straight up message to them that's not like just a little fire emoji, or it's not asking for anything. It just says, hey guys, you guys killed this product launch. Just want to say I'm a big fan of the products, big fan of your release strategy for this, and I just really hope that this product's going to do well for your company. Great job. Someone on the other end of that who's reading that, or their marketing team or whoever's running their social, is going to say, wow, this person's really kind. That's awesome. Like, I just got a genuine, encouraging, nice message from somebody, which is, we live in a world where that doesn't happen all the time.
No,
right?
it's mostly criticism.
So even if it's, yeah, exactly, right? So how do you be a little glimpse of encouragement in the sea of just chaos online, right? So if you're DMing, it can look like that.
Yeah.
If you're commenting, it can be the same thing, right? Examples of comments.
Yep. Oh, it could just be like, I mean, as simple as just like, love where you shot this. It's absolutely incredible. Or, wow, I can't believe I've never seen that style of product in the marketplace. I think that's so unique and cool. Like, anything that's just, honestly, even simple, just like love it. Like, I don't think you need to make it super complicated. I think it's just all about how do you go the extra mile? Because we always say the extra mile is never crowded. And people that are often pitching, and especially pitching in bulk, they're copy and pasting their DMs and sending them to client after client. And companies know. They know that people are doing that. And so when you go the extra mile and you actually are a fan of what they're doing, they're going to at least give you, most likely, the heart behind, like, we're actually responding to you when you do end up pitching.
Well, if you just think about it this way, this is probably how it works with even your own socials, right? When someone leaves a genuine, intentional comment, like, let's say you post a photo, let's say you're in the wedding space, and you post a photo that you're really proud of a bride and groom for a wedding you just shot last weekend. If someone you've never heard of, you've never seen their account on Instagram, comments and says, wow, this is really, really good. Your composition here is amazing. I'm sure the bride and groom are going to be so thrilled about the way you shot their wedding. There is a 0% chance you are not clicking on that person's Instagram to say, who is this person?
Yeah.
Like, who are they? Why are they landing, such a beautiful and encouraging comment on my post? So how can you do that same thing for brands, or for wedding planners you're trying to connect with, or for venues you're trying to work at, right?
Or even with couples, like, so many times people will inquire and it's like, oh, I send my inquiry response email back, and then you just don't do anything else, right? Whereas send the response back, but then also, and someone's doing this right now in our mastermind of like, oh my gosh, I just got this Italian inquiry and I want to book it so bad. And she's like, I'm going, and I'm like commenting on their latest photos. I followed them. I'm doing all this stuff. And she's not being creepy or weird about it.
No.
But she's literally just going, I'm already invested in these people. And so me showing like, hey, I enjoy you guys. I want to be there for you. I want to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to go above and beyond. You can do that in your inquiry process as well. And I guarantee you will not get ghosted if 100%. That is the case.
100%. So it's just going, again, how do I be intentional and show somebody that I have a genuine interest in who they are, the products they're building or releasing, what they are creating in the world. So you can do that through DM, you can do that through comment, right? So you got to make sure those are two avenues that you are 10 centing with the brands you want to work with, or the bride you're trying to get them to hire you for, or the venues you want to shoot at, the wedding planners you want to get referred by, all that stuff.
And you might be thinking, okay, how long do I need a 10 cent? Like, do I just need to do this for forever? Do I do it for a really short amount of time? And I would say it totally depends on the type of person. Like, I 10 cented a company, it was Beholden, which is now Anthropologie Weddings, but it's Anthropologie's wedding line. I 10 cented them for probably like 3 years. Like, I was, every time I shot a bride that had a Beholden dress, I was constantly tagging them in my stories, being like, oh my gosh, I love this dress. I'd post them in everything. I'd always reference them, to the point where they were just always, I was already in their DMs, which is where you always want to be. And I was already in that, having like good conversations with them. And it was just me giving. But then after 3 years, they reached out to me and they were like, hey, let's do a shoot. Like, hey, you want to shoot a line with us? And I ended up traveling the whole country with them. It was incredible. But that never would have happened because my name came up in a boardroom meeting. I literally, the social media manager and like the marketing director, they were like, hey, we love this girl, Christy. She's always posting about us. We want to work with her. And I was like, whoa, they want to work with me? That's like the craziest thing. But it's only because I did this exact thing. So you can do it for a really long time. You can have that runway of giving value until they reach out to you. Or you can be like Kelsey, who's like, I'm going to go comment on a few posts. I'm going to do some likes. I'm going to engage. And then I bet this was like the next day or maybe even same day she sent the pitch.
Yeah.
Just to have some value before you pitch.
Totally. The most notable deals I've ever had, Ford, Yeti, Uber, those three, if I give you the top three most notable like household brands, those are all brands that I 10-cented with and got the deal because of.
Yeah.
Those would probably have not happened if I did not engage with them on the regular basis for a long period of time for most of those three.
Yeah.
To eventually have them either reach out to me or for them just to be receptive to my pitch. So it's important that you do this. So let's talk about some other ones. You said you posted photos with beholden dresses, right? So that's another great example of 10-sending. We've touched on DM. We've touched on commenting. Now let's talk about posting. This is still in the social realm. You can just take photos of their products or of their experience, right? If you want to work with Disney, you're probably not ever going to work with Disney unless Disney sees you posting content of you at Disney, right? So like make sure you are also utilizing your own creative skill and creative vision and platform to showcase to somebody that, hey, I like your stuff, or I'm intentional about wanting to be in your ecosystem, wanting to be around you. I'm a fan of your products already. I already use your products. I'm a customer of yours, right? Post about them already, which is a really, really important thing to do.
You don't even have to necessarily go and even buy the product. You can be creative about
going
to REI.
Yeah, I used to literally go to outdoor stores and I would just find products I thought were really cool and I'd post them on my story and talk about why I think they were cool. I didn't have money to buy them at the time, but I was trying to build relationships with those brands, and guess what? It worked, right? So that leads us into, you said, going in somewhere. Then the next way you can actually 10-cent something is by physically putting yourself in proximity, not just putting your social account in their social account's proximity, but how do you actually put yourself physically in the proximity of the people you're wanting to work with, and then somehow engage with them in an intentional way where it's going to lead to business. So I've done this. A great example is Taylor Caruso. She was in our last mastermind. We have a podcast telling this whole story. But she went door to door, knocking on businesses and saying, hey, this is really cool. I'm just here to see what you guys are doing. I'm new to the area. And she started to just engage with these owners, these store owners, these employees and managers. And eventually it led to her getting multiple deals for her to run their social media management, right?
But she literally went into a boutique and she was like, I didn't want to be weird and just like walk in and then just be like, pitch myself. So she's like, so I tried on some clothes. I ended up buying something small. Like, she's supporting them first before asking for anything. So it's not that you necessarily need to go out and spend a bunch of money. But if you can, it goes a long way.
It goes a super long way. So there's 10-centing in person like that. So again, think about that when it comes to brides. Like, let's say you're at a wedding and you're like, oh my gosh, these bridesmaids are super cute. I vibe with them really well. Like, I'm imagining I'm a girl, you know, and it's like, oh, like I'm really getting along with these other bridesmaids. I'm shooting their best friend's wedding and they're really cute. I'd love to shoot their wedding as well. We're kind of like, you know, clicking here. Like, how do you engage with them and get intentional about them? Ask them about their relationships, where they're at. Are they engaged? Are they already married? You know, and I guarantee you dropping those little pieces of your 2 cents, quote unquote, as we call it, if you engage like that at a wedding, it will lead to you getting booked by some of those bridesmaids Wednesday, or by their little sisters or by their friends, right?
It would even be cool.
Super important.
This would be like a really good networking hack, is if at every single wedding you went to, you had little cards that were like, hey, get 10% off an
100%.
engagement shoot or a couple shoot with me. Or even you could go, hey, 10% off your wedding, and you hand those out to all of the bridesmaids and groomsmen and say, hey, just because I liked you guys, I want to give you guys these. If you ever want to redeem them, awesome.
Yeah. Or just because I really like the bride and she chose you to be in her wedding party, you guys must be awesome. So because of that, I want to give you guys these. And if you ever want to redeem them, here's my number, right?
Whatever.
Boom. Done. Like, great way to 10-cent and build these little intentional starts of relationships with people, so that one day those can turn into clients, which is really cool. And this isn't like sleazy. It's not like manipulative. This is how you build relationships and eventually get clients. And it's like, if you're going to do that one of the other ways, instead of just always asking for it, build some value up front, right? Give away stuff up front, build value up front, give encouragement, give hope, give feedback, give, if you have a social platform that has a ton of reach, if you have a big account, every time a brand sees you for free promoting something, that's a lot of goodwill with them, right? Your odds of then pitching them one day and getting through are much higher, right? So utilize that if you have that. Even if you don't have a lot of social followers, it's still super valuable to a brand. So
it's just think about it as you're building relationships. Like people want to work with people that they know, like, and trust, and that they feel like they have a relationship with. So do yourself a favor, do a little bit of this legwork before you pitch.
Yes.
And we promise your pitching will start to turn, and it will start to be way more effective than just constantly sending and getting blocked every single time and just not getting through. So focus on relationships, focus on serving people, giving them value before you ever ask for anything, and do that in all areas of life, and you will go so much farther. So I hope this is helpful, you guys. Let us know if you are using the 10-cent rule, if you start using it. DM us. Tell us that you're using it, how you're using it. We'd love to hear, and we'd love to hear about the deals that you land because of this. We so value every single person that listens to this podcast, and we want to know how your business is doing and any other ways we can help. So shoot us a DM at Creativ Rise if you've got any questions, or if you've got a podcast idea that you would love to hear about. If you got a question you would love it answered, we'd love to answer it on the podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So guys, thanks for being here today. Hopefully this 10-cent rule is going to help you land more deals. Please, as Christy said, make this be the one thing you do before you pitch, right?
Yeah.
Super, super important. And my meat, I got a bunch of meat on the smoker right now, and it is at the perfect temperature to take it off. And it's the perfect time to wrap up this podcast episode.
Amazing.
So if you don't already follow Average Joe Barbecue on Instagram, if you're into barbecue, big shout out to this little fun page that I'm doing just to showcase some of the cooks I'm doing.
It's actually so good.
Anyways, I got to go pull that meat off the barbecue. You guys got to get back to your day and do whatever you're doing. But from Christy and I and the rest of the team behind Creativ Rise that makes this podcast happen, we are so close to episode 200 next week, where we're going to have an awesome giveaway, like a legit giveaway. So don't miss out on that. Make sure you are tuned in. Make sure you're following us on Instagram so you see the giveaway on there. And we'll see you next week, guys. Thanks for being here.